My question is to the chair.
Order. Order.
My question is
Member for Wakehurst.
to the Public Accounts Committee. My question is to the Chair of the Public Accounts Committee. Given the circumstances surrounding the Northern Beaches Hospital and the performance audit recently commenced by the New South Wales Audit Office, could you please update the House on the PAC's work on accountability measures for major government projects and the impact of the new follow-the-dollar powers to ensure communities like mine do not pay the price for poor government decision-making?
Well, I'll call the member for Strathfield and Chairman.
What a great decision that was
Public
about Northern
Accounts
Beaches
Committee.
Hospital. Why don't you mine us a winner? Eh? You morons wanted 5 hospitals like that. You dopes.
That's the plan. That's their plan.
You wanted 5 private hospitals like that, you morons.
Order. Could the House please come to order to hear from, for the second time ever, a question from the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, following on from my own.
Excellent first hit out.
So I will now hand over to the excellent Chair of the Public Accounts Committee, and we'll all listen intently. Member for Port Macquarie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for Wakehurst for my very first question here. He's a rock star. He's a rock star member of the Public Accounts Committee and a fierce advocate for his local community, Mr. Speaker. And he's gravely concerned about the situation at the Northern Beaches Hospital. That hospital was a private-public partnership established by the previous government in an act of touted financial genius, Mr. Speaker. So much so that they plan to privatise a further 5 regional hospitals using the same model. Now, launching the Northern Beaches Hospital in 2018, Mr. Speaker, former Premier Gladys Berejiklian said, delivering life-changing infrastructure like this is only possible due to the strong economic management of the Liberals and Nationals. Well, Mr. Speaker, a recent Deloitte audit report found a material uncertainty exists as to the hospital's ability to continue as a going concern, Mr. Speaker. And the operator of the hospital, Healthscope itself, is also facing financial crisis. The AFR headline in April, Healthscope lenders bring in McGrath-Nicol to help with a $1.6 billion debt restructuring. Mr. Speaker, when McGrath-Nicol, the insolvency and restructuring experts are called in, that is generally not a sign of strong economic management. Now, this latest blow follows a litany of issues at the hospital, including a 2019 Herald report that hospital staff were being incentivised by $500 gift vouchers to convert public patients to private so that the hospital could charge the private health insurers for money. And
Hey, Rory, what do you think of that?
There was the 2020 parliamentary committee from the other place that recommended that this type of PPP never be used again, finding that public patients were receiving a lower standard of care than private patients in the same hospital. Mr. Speaker, in the same hospital. Now, the Audit Office has commenced a performance audit on the hospital using the new follow-the-dollar powers, and I acknowledge your role, Mr. Speaker, as the former chair of the PAC in agitating for those powers. Now, as chair of the PAC, I want to be non-partisan in this. I'm not going to go into the evils of privatisation, except to say that they are fundamentally opposed by the Minns government because they create.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Member for Wakehurst.
Seek an extra 2 minutes, please, to hear the answer fully.
Up to 2 minutes is granted. I call the chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Because they create a structural conflict between the interests of shareholders that are concerned about profit and the public interest. And that conflict is particularly acute in the context of the provision of public health care, where the care and well-being of patients has to be paramount, Mr. Speaker. Now, the PAC is also engaged in inquiry into accountability measures for major government projects, including business case assurance. In other words, we are asking, how is it that so many of our business cases and our project assurance gets it so wrong? Right? And when we were thinking about, all right, well, which project should we look into first? We didn't know where to start. Right? Should we start with the Roselle interchange? Should we start with the intercity train procurement, which is $1 billion over budget, 35 months delay, and with trains that didn't fit through the tunnels? Mr. Speaker, we were confronted with a fiasco smorgasbord. We didn't know what to choose, and so we started with something bite-sized, the Critical Communications Enhancement Program. This is an important upgrade to the public safety network used by our emergency services organisations. That is, the original business case, $400 million. That's right. It was meant to be delivered in 2020. The latest cost estimate is $2 billion, and it's running 7 years late, Mr. Speaker. So look, I look forward to the performance report from the Audit Office on the Northern Beaches Hospital. I look forward to the PAC, us tabling our report here, so that taxpayer funds are not wasted, so that critical projects are not delayed by years, and so that communities like in Wakehurst can get the highest quality services that they deserve.
Members of the opposition will come to order. You know that was disorderly. However, it was very well deserved. Okay? So it was a very well... Okay? So members will now come to order while we can hear the question.